completely random podcast with your host, Jake DeMarco and Cody O'Needy 316.
Give me a hell yeah!
How you doing, my friend? Glad to have you here today. We've not had a chance to do this in some time in this format, anyways.
Not really fun for people involved, but
no, but fun for you and I to again be back in the saddle. Back in the saddle. You and I are riding down that dusty hill, heading into Survivor Series War Games.
War Games!
And we needed a break from wrestling to talk about what the hell is going on with the White House, the chief of staff, the our true tribal chief and the leader of our nation, and some files that need to be released.
yeah.
You know, the funny part is I genuinely don't know much about Steen. I am going to attempt to skirt some of the immediate, censorship. We'll see how long we go for it. But the White House says Trump will sign legislation to compel the Justice Department to release the records related to the late convicted offender Jeffrey Epstein as soon as the bill reaches his desk. The measure passed 427-1, with Representative Clay Higgins being the only lawmaker to vote no. I want to talk about this briefly, though. Do you know why he said no?
I don't actually, because that was a topic of discussion. Because
I'm in therapy. I get this notice across my phone, and I'm jumping in over you. But I'm telling you right now, my therapist agrees. He's like, why would he not say yes? What's the? And he made a very compelling argument. He basically said, folks, fuck them kids. No, he said, folks, I am just worried that people that are in these documents that testified as anonymous, phone numbers, addresses that are still current and active, all these things, so much information is in these files because we've not been able to redact it the way we wanted to. And so I get it. He doesn't want to re-traumatize the victims because there are theorists out there that are going to be like, oh, you said you were trafficked, and then they're going to just run amok and chase these people down. Now, the victims, and we can say actually victims because he was, obviously in prison and convicted. So Comey has basically been trying to argue that charges that he lied to Congress should be dismissed on the grounds that his prosecution has been selective and vindictive. So that's still crazy. And then Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, ex-president of Harvard, he said he's going to resign from the board after scrutiny on his connection to Mr. Jeffrey. And that's now the subject of an internal investigation by the Ivy League school, Harvard itself. So not good for anybody. I don't think this is a Democratic hoax and Russia, and all the things there, but this needs to be released. This needs to come out. You had so many people on the Republican side say that when I am in office, I will get the files released.
Did he? Right, he did. And you want to know what happened?
Not just Trump. Almost all of them. Pam Bondi and, the list goes on.
But then he said it was on his desk, if you remember.
Oh, she did, yes. Bondi, she was like, yeah, I'm looking into it right now. It's on my desk. The files are on my desk. And then they had that fake PR moment where they had already released info in binders with like social media people. That was random. As my neck cracks.
They said there were no files.
Yes. Then there's nothing to report. There's no victims. There's no evidence. There's none of it. Very baffling.
None at all.
And you know what? I'm a proud father myself, girl dad. I get you never want to see anybody victimized, and especially females, especially your daughter. No matter who it is, they shouldn't be. But and guys can get abused too. But with this, the way it worked and what these people went through was horrific. And I don't think people realize how bad it got. But his island was so heavily filled with surveillance. And essentially what he would do is he would bring these foreign dignitaries and big billionaires and whatnot back with him. And when they got there, I don't know if allegedly, supposedly, you hear so many hearsay things. So again, allegedly, but that people would become drugged or drunken, coerced in some way to, hey, look at this fine 18-year-old girl. And guess what? After you sleep with her, you find out that's not 18, she's 12. And now we have it all on film. So, there was tons of blackmail. When Epstein first got looked into, I have a bit of a timeline here for us, but it was in 2006, the Palm Beach County grand jury indicts him on a state felony charge of solicitation of prostitutes. And whoever led that time, the chief and lead detective, they were trying to refer the case to FBI office, but then he got wind of it. So when they finally came and did like a search warrant for his entire residence, the drives that were there were gone, computers were gone. Basically things were cleaned up. So he got tipped off. Then he eventually gets a sweetheart deal where he doesn't even actually have to register as an offender, and he'll plead guilty to 2 state charges and accept a prison term, and then set up a way for his victims to obtain monetary damages. This deal was so criticized and controversial because the federal prosecutor's office grants immunity to him for co-conspirators and any potential co-conspirators. The Justice Department says that prosecutors agree not to tell the victims about the NPA, which is filed under seal. So this non-prosecution agreement, the NPA, basically he was untouchable in anything that regarded to this or other things. And even with co-conspirators, people that worked with him, they couldn't go after with this deal. How he got this, you can't always follow the money because you couldn't see where he got his riches from. He just ended up being very, very rich. There was a method to his madness, surely, because the man was very wealthy. He was well known and well connected.
No conspiracies at all when you just randomly get rich, no?
None. And, they tried to paint him as like a Wall Street guy and an investment guy. He makes people a lot of money. So what he got sentenced to was 18 months in a minimum security facility. He got to leave. He got to leave prison every day for 12 hours a day to work at a foundation that he incorporated. So every day he would go to work, and then at nighttime he would have to check back in, and then he would sleep in his cell, and the next day he would get up and be out again. What is the point of having him in jail?
Yeah.
You have to come back at night for curfew. It had to have been more of a pain in the ass. I would be like, fuck it, I'm just staying here. This is ridiculous. Because every time you go out, can you imagine what you have to do to go back into jail every time? You got to get scanned, make sure you're not bringing things inside you, and all that delousing. And but then in the same year, they had Jane Doe filing a federal lawsuit under the CVR, the Crimes Victims Act. And she said other victims were not informed that they had an NPA. And then in 2019, a judge ruled in their favor. So that's how we got to him. He was released after serving less than 13 months of the sentence. 2 years after the deal was signed, Florida judge orders that documents giving Epstein federal immunity should be made public. And then he settled multiple lawsuits, civil ones, brought against him by his victims. 2015, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, I don't know if I ever say her name right. She sued him and Ghislaine, and in 2021, she was found guilty of helping Epstein operate this trafficking ring that preyed on teens and very young women, and is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence unless Trump pardons her, which people are thinking is going to happen, and that's a scary thought. But not long after, federal agents arrest Epstein July 6 of 2019. He's charged in the Southern District Court of New York with 1 count of trafficking of minors and 1 count of conspiracy to commit the same. He is then visited by his lawyer either the day of or the day before. He goes ahead and is no longer with us. So August 9th, meets with his lawyer, and his lawyer is basically saying, like, hey, they've got you on a lot. This doesn't look good. Next day, he's no longer with us. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
I mean,
I am going to say something outlandish. You know how no one believes that he killed himself and all this stuff? I mean, I think maybe he really did. I know it seems like impossible, but I think he knew he was fucked. He was not going to be able to get out, and it was only going to get worse the more they uncovered.
Yep.
And with him alive to testify, it would just be a total disaster. I got you there. And I genuinely, I think he knew.
Hear me,
like,
right?
Yes.
No editing here. Technical difficulties and all, but
we're making it. We're making it work.
So he wasn't going to get a sentence like before, right? Where he had to.
Now, because there was not a lot of eyes on it then. Like, people didn't know because it was sealed away that he had this NPA. Eventually, that was overturned, like we said. But still, he got all of these sweetheart deals, like we said, for whatever reason. We don't know, right, Cody? Right.
I mean, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
This podcast doesn't concern you.
Yeah.
What's he doing there anyway?
I don't know. He won't leave me alone.
Ever since Triple H fucking
put him in purgatory hell.
Yeah.
So they showed us, the footage, and apparently there was a minute missing, but then they recovered it because that's when the computers reset. You can tell this jail is very old. The other cameras were not working. Could someone have done something? Sure, it's not definitive proof, but I feel like he talked to his lawyer. His lawyer said, you're cooked. And that's when
some people think he's still alive, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you could absolutely see photos of him from the jail where he is no longer with us.
So why do people think he's alive?
The same way you could see the same photos of Michael Jackson there in the hallway after being pronounced deceased, and somebody snapped a photo and brought it to TMZ.
I know all different situations. Like this is another one. People had conspiracies on that. He's still alive. Charlie Kirk, right? That's another one people think is still alive.
I know.
And
I'm a little bit older than you, just a few years. It's not huge, but I distinctly remember Elvis as a kid was like a running gag and a joke between a couple friends and I. And what I didn't grow up having a father, so my mom used to always say that my dad was Bon Jovi. Side joke, really quick, to bring some levity to this very serious topic. When my mom was pregnant and my father took off and wasn't going to have any of that responsibility. Right before my mother right before I was due to be born, my mom went to a Bon Jovi concert and with her best friend at the time. When they got there, she's like, I don't know what came over me. I had like hormonal confidence. And she's like, so I went up to one of the security guards and I'm like, Bon Jovi got me pregnant and he needs to know. So they end up bringing her backstage. Remember, this is 87. And, they bring her to the back, and they were not rude, but it was like definitely something they maybe dealt with before, because they were very like hush hush about it. Sign here. What's this? What's that? And when he finally came around the corner, and then she starts to chuckle, and he was like, like he actually thought it was funny, but thankfully, it could have gone very bad and could have been, like, how dare you accuse me, that kind of thing. But I think he saw the humor in it. And so she got to sit on the side and watch him play and all that stuff. It was a cool thing. Like, it was it could have been very bad. But I always look back saying that, hey, Bon Jovi was my dad, or Elvis. Friggin' Elvis. That was such a conspiracy
Elvis was your dad.
Theory. Elvis was everywhere. He was everywhere.
After the Jeffrey Epstein thing, we'll get into a few conspiracy theories. And
But the point is, people think he's still alive, and he's not. You have Courtney Wild, who started in 10 years ago in this case, who's still fighting. She said Jeffrey just abused me sexually for years, robbed me of my innocence, my mental health. He has done nothing but manipulate our justice system, where he has never been held accountable for his actions, even to this day. And they're not wrong, because he didn't want to go through the media circus and everything coming to light in front of him. He made that kind of clear to a few associates. I think he did self-delete. I really do. I think that was the case. So it's I know it's kind of a controversial thing, but that's just how I come to it. And now where we're at is the Epstein files, and Congress
here's my
passed a
thing
vote.
with this though. So obviously I don't, before we get into that, like my last thing on this, like obviously I don't think that he's still with us, because you could see that he's not with us. Like same thing with like Charlie Kirk, Michael Jackson. You can tell that they're no longer there. So I think there could be a possibility where someone was paid to take him out to keep quiet and hush hush. And that's that for me. But I do see
No,
where
you're
coming
not crazy, because it absolutely could have happened. We don't have any definitive proof one way or the other. I'm just saying,
we
to
can't let
me,
this get out. So kill him.
yeah,
And that's what I see happening. But I do also see where he's like, what's the point of living anymore if this is all I'm gonna have?
that's my thought process. Basically, I think he was desperate, and a man that's desperate to that extent is dangerous. It didn't matter which connection he had. The problem was, for him now, he was public enemy number one. He already got away with it, and he got away with it really good. I mean, that first case was very heinous. He had a lot of CSAM material, children assault material, porn.
The Epstein list, though.
Well, but what I'm saying is he had massive amounts, terabytes of drives of
Oh yeah,
paraphernalia and whatnot. So it was just very evil man. That regardless, I'm thankful he's not here.
Glad he's gone.
But
yeah.
of course, this rich man was in the high life of society. He knew everybody. Yeah, he had so many connections.
Do you think celebrities or politicians? Who do you think's more likely involved? Celebrities or politicians?
Both, but I mean, celebrities less than politicians. I think politicians more have the chance of being not just culpability, but being compromised.
Any celebrities that you can think of? This is just alleged. Nothing like we're not accusing anyone of anything.
Of course not. You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't even. I'm so bad at this. I can't really think of anybody. Like, I mean, but look at the people that he's surrounded himself with. Prince Andrew, and I'm talking about Jeffrey, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson. All of these people have been accused or found guilty or have done some type of heinous thing to women, to some type of sexual act. They've been either convicted or publicly shamed and canceled. Poor Monica still to this day is the most ridiculous victim, but I feel terrible for her because she could never escape it. Yeah, hit me.
Because
excuse me,
people know people that know people. Let's start off with the big one. Trump. Do you think he's in them?
I don't know if I know he's in the files, but to what extent? Like, is he guilty? You're asking of,
because there's a difference between your name being mentioned and being a participant.
I think they were friends, and then Trump kind of saw where he was going, and I think maybe he thought it was jokes, and I could be blind. It could be, he's into the age thing.
You don't think Trump had any actual thing to do with?
Not a single female has come out and one time accused him. Everybody else has accusers, and everybody keeps saying, listen to the victims.
Best friends. So if Trump's best friend, Vince McMahon, do you think he's in them? Because some people say because Jeffrey Epstein knows Trump and Trump knows Vince.
Well, apparently,
that could just be connection.
And I mean, you got to remember, 1988, all of a sudden Epstein was at Bear Stearns briefly, and then he has a money management firm with clients worth $1 billion or more, and that's his first, operation.
Right.
So now through the 90s, you got, Jeffrey and Donald together, and Mar-a-Lago, in Palm Beach, Florida, including a party with NFL cheerleaders, and Jeffrey was the only two guests at a so-called competition to choose calendar models. On a number of those occasions, young women accused Trump of misconduct, which he has denied. And in a 4-year period in the 1990s, Trump flew at least 7 times on his private jet on Jeffries, according to the flight logs. It doesn't say anything about going to the island, just as he flew on his jet. The files also show that Clinton flew on the Epstein jet in the 2000s after he left the White House. Flight logs indicate at least 17 flights with Clinton on board to Siberia, Morocco, China, and Armenia. See what I'm saying about also relating this back to wrestling? Like, do they know everywhere where you land when you, like, it's public knowledge and whatever? Yeah. Virginia Guffrey dealt with all this in 2000. Here to be his masseuse, and it turns into this never-ending hell, and she lived with it for years, and my heart breaks all the shit that happened. But then in 2002, Trump says in a magazine piece on The Financier that Jeffrey likes women on the younger side. And then at his 50th birthday party, Trump is one or more than 50 celebrities who contributed to a bawdy album of birthday wishes, and you saw he drew that, nude woman kind of outline. Yep. But in 2004, their friendship ended, and it does seem like he didn't talk to him after that. Like, it's just several months. A woman reported to the police that her 14-year-old stepdaughter had been paid to massage Epstein while she was naked. And then other teenagers came forward to tell the police that they had been paid to massage Jeffrey as well. Prosecutors handled the case is the one that he got the sweetheart deal for. So... Right. He would put these girls into compromised positions and force them into things, and it wasn't all just like, oh, here, take the money. Like, he had power and people were afraid. So,
or if you had to guess, Trump innocent or guilty from Jeffrey Epstein's wrongdoing.
And I'm not a big Trump supporter either, but yeah, I think he's not guilty of this the trafficking and the abuse of children thing. So yeah.
So, but Trump knows Vince, so because a lot of people did talk Vince being in them. Like, do you think Vince is in them?
A couple years ago, I would have said no. I would have said he's a old hornball, but I think he's got a little bit more reserve, But then we heard everything with Janelle Grant, and we're like, oh, he's on people's heads, So that is a tasty pill to swallow. Yeah.
Would you be shocked if Vince was in them?
No. That's what I'm saying. It's easily predictable at this point.
Yeah.
Book it.
Give me some top celebrity. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking through now. I'm trying to see like who else. They have all these binders and no credible evidence that came with them, and there's the image that I was mentioning before that he went ahead and drew for the birthday letter, and the whole thing is just kind of. It's crazy because if Trump isn't involved in all this, like, is he protecting somebody else that is, or is he just, I don't know. There's the birthday letter right there. You can see, and craziness. All they talk about, their coded language. Trump could be very guilty. I'm telling you, Cody, Trump could be very guilty. But I don't.
Trump would want to out right away, right? If it was like Bill Clinton and Obama, like people say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so the whole thing is very bizarre. I think it's going to make Trump look very bad, but I don't necessarily believe that he did anything illegal. I think it's going to be very scummy or something.
When he want that released immediately.
Depends. How bad is this going to look on him? Seems like he's
right.
He was attacking the ABC journalist that was like, okay, well, the Epstein files were passed. How come you didn't just? He's like, how dare you start off with that question? You're vile. ABC is fake news. All of you. Like, he just screaming at her and being this pest about it. It was kind of entertaining, but yeah, with all these live updates, I'm curious.
Trump's supposed to sign it now, right? Because it passed the House and unanimously passed the Senate. So Trump just has to sign it, right?
Right, because the Senate voted
it's taking so long
quickly.
For him to sign it.
Right, it went through the Senate already?
Yeah, like immediately.
That's what I thought.
Like in unanimous, it was like all senators voted yes to release the list.
Yeah,
and now it's on Trump's desk. Apparently, got sent to Trump, and he has not signed it yet.
Texas Republicans want to count ballots by hand next year. He still hasn't.
The proceeding of this recording.
FBI announces $15 million reward for arrest of alleged drug trafficker Ryan Wedding. So they're talking about him right now. I'm not familiar with that case. Are you?
No, I am not.
But yeah, he hasn't signed it yet.
He could have signed it like if after when this publishes, but as we're recording this, he has not
Yeah.
signed anything.
So Ryan Wedding was
President Trump is
charged
expected to sign the Epstein files on Wednesday, November 19th, which is today. When's this coming out?
today.
It is coming out today. Okay, I was just making sure.
Yes.
So, yeah, the bill has been sent to his desk after the passing of both chambers of Congress. So, the only person to vote no was someone in the House. Everyone else in the House voted to release it. Everyone in the Senate voted to release it, and one person in the House voted no.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
Which,
so,
why did one person vote no? Come on, that makes you seem.
Trump said, "I don't care when the Senate passes the House bill, whether tonight or at some other time in the future. I just don't want Republicans to take their eyes off of all the victories that we've had." So he's basically saying he will sign it, but he's going to take his time.
Of course. So I'm trying to trust AI because they'll obviously say the most recent, like as you can get it. He's expected to sign it now. Yeah, is he?
And now they're trying to, like Thomas Massey, he's skeptical of Trump's sudden change of heart. And, it's all, MAGA fell apart. There's a bunch of infighting. But Epstein, one of the survivors, falls silent for 5 seconds when a host asks her about Trump. And I'm kind of curious. Let's check this out really quick. Hold on. Let me cue your audio in so you can listen as well in real time, my friend. Let's go ahead and check this out from Yahoo News.
At Mar-a-Lago, how did you end up going to Mar-a-Lago? Did he send you there? Were you told to go there? How did that happen?
There were a lot of model parties.
Yeah, we heard about that before, that the limo would pick you up, and if you worked from, they would bring you, but they wouldn't tell you where the party was held.
Person who, of course, owns Mar-a-Lago. I just have to ask if you think he was aware of that arrangement.
I don't know if he was aware. Actually, I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
You were in your teens. Yeah. And I think this is important for people.
Yeah, at least she's being honest. She didn't go ahead and lay it out, being like, "Oh no, he's definitely there." Or, she was like, I can't answer that. I was a child. I was dealing with other stuff. Knowing if the guy that owned the place where I'm being assaulted knows it or not was not my worry. I don't. Like I said, I'm not even the person that defends Trump hardly ever. The only thing I ever say is going against him for not opinions, but I'm saying like against him as your president, saying that he's not.
The Democrat side, when they want this released, it's like, can we get Trump? Can we get Trump? Can we get Trump? This is something to target Trump.
But going after him is like going after your pilot on an airplane. You're literally saying, I want the plane to crash because I don't like the pilot. They're tanking our country in the meantime. We have huge inflation problems to deal with. We've got so much, drugs and overdose issues. Now we have that new nitazene, whatever fucking stronger than fentanyl medication that's out there killing people. I literally got the warning at the doctor's office today. They were posting saying, make sure your children, if they're going to smoke marijuana, get it from a dispensary sealed or not at all. Because I've actually talked to somebody earlier. They had a cousin of theirs go ahead and just, hey, yeah, a guy's selling weed. I bought it from him. We went to go smoke a joint, and I passed out and woke up in the hospital because apparently I died from overdosing. And they're spraying this shit on weed, and it's terrible. And people will say that's ridiculous, but that's the actual instance of what happened here. So scary.
Yeah. I mean,
there's enough to take care of here. There's enough that should be handled. So I get the Epstein thing being important. It does need to be released. It needs to be out there.
But do you think,
but this should have happened months ago. It's a huge distraction from life.
Do you think the left is doing this to help the victims, or do you think the left is doing this? What do we have on Trump? You have any political arguments on Trump?
Can it be both? Because I'm not trying to fence it either. I swear to you, but that I feel like it is both. Because I think there are Democrats who are very sincere in what they're trying to accomplish. And then there's others that are like, oh, we can spin this in our
They make
favor.
it like Republican this, Republican that.
Yeah, rather than just being an issue, they make it about, political choice.
Yeah,
And here's the thing with that too,
this is why I say both sides are the same. Both sides are.
They're both. To be a politician, you have to be charismatic. You have to be a manipulator. You have to be able to lie. You have to. Like it's just that's absolutely part of it. So
yeah,
I'm searching through and I'm looking for Justice Department admits full grand jury never saw the final Comey indictment. I mean, like all of this is just a mess. No one is doing their jobs. Like the thing I am. Enraged is the wrong word, but even perplexed doesn't quite sum it up. Flabbergasted, maybe, that Trump is able to do things at times where, like, the Supreme Court or some justice comes in and is like, no, I signed against you. You can't do it. And Trump's like, la, 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 la. Like, I can't hear you. What'd you say? You told me yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Makes me chuckle, but I want to make sure you didn't keep hearing yourself. This whole thing is a mess, and everybody that ran on let's get these files out, let's then as soon as they get into the White House and into the political side of it, and now it's like, oh, there's nothing to look for. So it is very in your face of how blatant they were. There's no list. There's no files. So what are you releasing now through the House and Senate? What is it if there's no files? You told us there was no files. Oh, well, there's no like list of names like in a black book. Well, no shit. He wasn't going to write down every single person's name in the one book.
People thought. Yeah, I can't believe there was people that actually thought that though. Like that is hilarious. Like
he walks around with like the little, like you see detectives. He's got his little flip notepad. I'm not even trying to laugh, but. No, but he's got his little spiral pad and notebook, like Blue's Clues. Remember how he walks around? He's except it's Cody's Clues.
But like seriously, like we've had to explain to people that's not what they mean by a list because people thought it was. I'm not even trying to laugh. It was just a fucking list of names.
You're
like
not
the list
wrong.
of Jericho or something.
Yeah,
but that's what people thought. Like Jericho, like you just made the list, and he has a whole. Like packet of people on the list. That's what people thought. It was just name after name. I'm like, that's not what it is. You fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
It's not needed.
I'm glad you cleared that up though, because that's what people thought this is.
Yeah,
that's all this is.
And that's what sucks. That it has to be taken to that level.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I don't either.
Not to break the fourth wall, but how long has this gone on so far?
I mean, you and I have been doing a straight half hour of this talk, and do
you want to still continue this, or do you want to get into a few conspiracies?
We're gonna get into a few conspiracies. Actually, I want to when the files are released, and it does actually happen when Trump finally signs this, and we can get into it. You and I will do an absolute deep dive. But until we get to that point,
we don't have much more to, I guess, add on, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so this, like
all we can say is we want to see the files, yes, and we want to be able to investigate and read them. And what sucks is they're scanned.
The files isn't just a alphabetical order, name by name by name by name. That's what people think this is.
This is like boxes of shit that has to be scanned, and it's all been scanned, so it's not even like processed. So they didn't do it like with a neat scanner. Yeah, no, it's not like it's a neat scanner where you can search things. Yeah. You literally have to go through and read every page manually. Like you can't, Control F and find it. That's what sucks.
Thank you for explaining that because people like I think people like have DM'd you too, right? Like saying they think it's just a list of names, right? Just people's names, like Trump, Obama, Clinton.
Yes, exactly. It's just going to be that straight there. So here we go. Like, no. I mentioned that guy before, Ryan Wedding. I said, what happened? It said he was charged by the U.S. Department of Justice with leading a transnational organized crime group that engaged in cocaine trafficking and murder, including of innocent civilians. That would do it. He's a former Olympic snowboarder. I knew the name. He was in the 2002 Olympic sports.
Oh, really?
For the Winter Olympics, yeah. So snowboarder. Of course, he was at the Winter Olympics. But yeah, he was on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list. Damn, and they got him. Well, that's crazy.
Well, doing stuff like that, I mean,
Says the FBI was offering a reward of up to $15 million for his capture.
find him. Damn, I wish we could have found him.
Right? No shit. Nuts. I don't know if they did already capture him or what. Yeah, conspiracy this. That's what I'm trying to see now. But I was trying to see, like, what are some of the new conspiracies that are, happening? What are the kids talking about these days? And hold on, let me find what are some of the ones that you go to?
I'm gonna. So I touched up on this before. Here's a silly one: birds aren't real; they're just government surveillance drones.
Yeah, robots.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I've always thought that was hilarious, but honestly, I wonder what it would be like if they actually were.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I just genuinely wonder what it would be like had this actually been true. I mean, essentially, they have flight power with drones, and they could, someday make it look. But if they were making the bird flap to fly, and it would be easy for them to get in and out of situations where they could go ahead and basically, find out whatever they need to. They hover above you, and they can even drop some shit on you. So, this is kind of interesting because I've unfortunately, being me and then going through the 90s, kid myself, I've been following Britney's career her entire life, and she's only a few years older than I am. Candace Owens is saying that Britney was infiltrated by outside influences who were instrumental in her conservatorship, which we knew, but she's basically going on saying celebrities are controlled, and the reason she looks so bad right now is because she's trying to revolt from it. We've seen Amanda Bynes over the last few days be more active on her TikTok, and she went and said pretty much what we were all thinking. And it's unfortunate that she said Dan Schneider impregnated her at 13. And people were like, oh, this viral video has been debunked. A video surfaced on TikTok claiming that actress Amanda Bynes accused former Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider of getting her pregnant when she was 13. And the man I got pregnant with him at the age of 13, she says. But apparently they're saying the TikTok video amassed 15.6 million views. That's how I saw it. The video is fake. Amanda Bynes did not accuse Dan Schneider of impregnating her as a teenager. Instead, the visual of her at the diner was recently posted on her Instagram stories without any mention of her former Nickelodeon producer. Somebody said she looks gorgeous in a recent photo. This poor gal has been through the ringer, and I apologize for the loud audio, but you got to see what I'm seeing here. There's no way that she wasn't abused on the Nickelodeon sets, because you're telling me that's Amanda Bynes? She's the man? That was such a great movie as a kid for, like, the coming of age tale. And then she flashed the boyfriend and everyone's like, yeah, side boob. But no, we can't celebrate that. Behind the scenes clip from her childhood show was also showed no signs of inappropriate behavior. She was sitting in the hot tub with an adult talking about how he controls her. He tells her what to say and how to say it. And he's writing even the conversation they're speaking now. So they said, hey, so Amanda does not have TikTok. This is a fan account. It's not her. And it just continued to where there's smoke, there's fire, and people went nuts. So it's unfortunate that this is a fake video, in the sense of, like, if this is true and it's only making her hide more, it's not great. But they're showing her now, now that she lost weight, they're saying she looks better, and yeah, that's great, but she's been through a lot. And we heard of, like, Drake. The only reason we found that out, that he was abused as bad as he was because, what do you know? He was abused too by the Nickelodeon assholes. And it just, it breaks my heart that people can abuse and hurt innocent children ever. That's pretty much been the theme of this episode, unfortunately. And when we do have more about the Epstein files being released. We'll talk about it. As much as we love to cover wrestling, we do this back and forth because we enjoy also, being aware of what's going on, not just in the world, but our own backyard especially. And we really try to be less biased. Can't say unbiased because that's an impossibility. But
what are we on? Sorry about that.
No, I'm just wrapping it up and telling the people, with our conspiracy theories, how they've been wild in the past few months.
More.
But I was talking
I'll
about.
give you 3 more.
Yes, but hold on. I was talking about Amanda Bynes and how it was just tragically upsetting because a fan posted that she admitted to being raped and impregnated by Dan Schneider when she was 13, and people thought this was legitimate.
Guy.
Yes, the guy that, and he's sitting in the hot tub with her, and it's funny, there's no inappropriate nature, but it's an older man sitting in the hot tub with her while he controls everything she says, literally making a joke out of it. So
sad about that though for people's childhoods as well.
What's that?
Like people grew up with his like shows, right? Didn't he? Like what's that? Drake and Josh, right?
Yeah. Like I said, Drake Bell, the only reason we know what happened to him is because the cycle repeats itself. He tried to abuse a young girl, and then he got caught, and when they found out, oh, shit.
Did he try? But he said that she lied about her age.
It was, she did, but it was still, and what really sucks is, and I'm not trying to sound like a men's rights, thing. Everybody needs rights, but it does suck because let's say you're at a 21 and over bar, like there is no, you have to be 21 to enter. You can't even do the college thing. And a girl's in there. She's drinking. She's got a wristband on. She looks 21. She sounds 21. Her ID says she's 21. You go back to your freaking house. You two hook up. And guess what? Next day, mom and dad find out when you drop her off at home. How old are you? And they call the cops. Right? And now you're going to jail for statutory. And that has happened so many times. Or the fact that you have to know. I hate that's the ruling, but that's how they make it work. Even if she shows you a fake ID, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to have to do? Tattoo people's birth dates on their feet eventually so you can't, ridiculous.
Is that basically what happened to Drake, though? Like,
yeah. He was starting to repeat the process, and then through that, they were able to have the trial for the other guy.
Do you think he's a bad person, or you think
he's a victim?
He got?
Yeah, and thankfully it didn't become worse, but he needed help, and he wasn't going to get it until he was able to admit it. So unfortunately, it did good.
Josh, I think, reached out after years again.
Yeah, they did a podcast episode together that was fantastic. It was split up to a few parts, and one of the
Jeanette McCurdy, I think, was another.
She look at her book. Sam. Yeah, her book saying how she hated her mom. They originally promised her to be like the lead role. Then all of a sudden she's on set, and Ariana Grande is now not just the co-star, but the star. And everything came second to,
Ariana
Jeanette.
Grande played Kat, right?
Yeah.
The dumb character, but she was like the star of the show because they
elevated and pushed her as the main individualized
you're gonna be
person.
The star, then Jeanette McCurdy.
You want to be a star, don't you?
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
So how am I the star?
So I'm looking at the top 20 viral conspiracy theories 2025, and people are saying that FogVid24, the chemical fog bioweapon, they're suggesting that the government released bioweapons designed for population control or mind manipulation when a strange chemical-smelling fog was reported across several U.S. states in early January. Remember this when it happened? They said they had drones flying overhead during the fog event. They were like speculating that people were being sprayed with unknown substances.
Are you talking about like the Canadian fires, stuff like that, where it got all?
No, even before that, they just had massive fog rolling through all these different states, and it was very perplexing. It had a weird chemical smell. They said that reptilian shapeshifters still run the world. As wild as it sounds, the theory that world leaders and celebrities are actually reptilian aliens in disguise refuses to die. adherence points to the strange eye movements, cold demeanor, or even glitches in live videos as proof. Elon Musk, Queen Elizabeth II, and several presidents are often cited in these bizarre narratives. I mean, that's kind of every year that'll be the same one. That's been around forever. That the fact that people keep seeing. There has to be something else out there. We can't be the only ones. Maybe it's a galaxy we haven't seen.
Last time people call it crazy, but I think there's aliens too. I find it hard to believe we're the only ones in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I can't fathom that. Our undoing will not be manifesting destiny. We're gonna unearth some crazy species.
What's the percentage that there is? And it isn't like 60, 40, 70.
Like 80-20 for there being aliens. I'm almost like fully convinced with a lot of.
What about a god?
I don't know where I'm at with that. I have a very hard time with religion because of how it fucked me up growing up. When my father did get in my life, he was such a hypocrite, and everything with him was about control. And he used religion to try and teach lessons, but yet it was all about beating the shit out of you and being violent.
I know. So someone else, like you used to work with, this actually is a good point. Like saying that God is like Santa Claus for adults, to just give them.
I mean, anything is a way to pacify. Yeah, it's something to believe in. It's something, and that's why I'm not against religion. I think it could be a beautiful thing. It's just a matter of all the shitty people that are attached to it. No, but I've got family members now going to this new church, and suddenly they believe that there's demons in their phone. Like, not exaggerating. Like, they've been basically forced to believe that there's demons in their phone because that's what makes people act badly, like politicians and stuff.
Then he started going to church, and then I would make jokes, and he's like, it's because you got Satan's trying to get in your head, man. I'm like, what?
They said artificial intelligence is really, it's basically like a form of brainwashing. They're saying that platforms like ChatGPT and others have been trained to suppress specific viewpoints, steer public thinking, and have thought control. Because if you think about all the slop we see, it's just that constant fed. It's kind of like the They Live, Roddy Piper that Stevie Richards just did a parody of. He did such a good job. Fucking hilarious. That was great. But people still talking about UFO truth is still being hidden, and the government knows. Deep state control is real. False flags attacks are really orchestrated events. And they're saying that the pandemic was population control. I think this is a stupid list, but
I'm trying to look up.
This
is a basic one. Moon landing was fake.
See, you think that was fake? See, no, I think because people are like, we haven't been back. Yeah, we went to the moon a bunch of times, but what the fuck else were we going to do with it at that point? Why haven't we been back? Well, because it's expensive, and
I got that.
But what they did and the way they did it
advanced way more. No.
Yeah, it has, and part of it that we didn't go there and start building bases and stuff is it's not ours.
Fair.
And that was apparently a big deal. Yeah, it was a big deal behind the scenes in like the late 60s, early 70s, where I guess like Russia, Japan, all these places were arguing with, different presidents and whatnot over the years because, hey, you can go to the moon, but you can't keep the moon. Like you put the American flag there, and that really upset a lot of other nations rather than being like, and they get it. Yeah, it's an achievement. But I from when I was watching in this documentary, it was just a really interesting take about how people saw it as a threat. Like, oh, they're there now. Now they're going to have space lasers. It would be cool, but I don't see the benefit at this time in the sense of like, is there something they could mine for? Do you really want to destroy the moon? I don't think that's a good idea. You just want to start digging it apart. And what are we going to, there's not a ton of, like if we land, we can take stuff back with us to research. So you don't need to stay there essentially. And I God knows if you are on the moon, are you messing with Earth's gravitational pull? Or you, all these things, you never know. but I would say it's
convinced
more of
that-
an importance to go to Mars than anything else.
Maybe this is something I'm on the fence on. I'm like, I could just see it being either way. They faked it or they didn't. I could just see that going either way.
Yeah.
This one's a stupid one. I don't even believe in, but there are people that do. Flat earthers.
Yeah, you know, I believe it. The Earth. No, I'm just kidding. The Earth's not flat, but it's so easily like disprovable, however you want to say it. You know, easily proven that it is not flat. You can see the curvature. Like, then you had that one guy launch a rocket into space, and it didn't go up to space, and it didn't deploy his parachute. He wanted to see the curvature of the Earth. Well, he saw it and landed and died because he crash landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that was the last thing he saw.
No, the last thing you saw was his asshole hitting the fucking windshield.
I mean, sorry, I'm eating while talking.
You're good, bud. But yeah, you know,
But-
I'm curious what the commenters' favorite or most believed conspiracy theories are. They'll have to let us know, and we will have more UCR coming up for you folks. Don't worry, we're trying to make this more of a regular thing. Tonight we'll be live into Somewhere Weekly.
YouTube
If you caught
likes to
this,
censor us.
yeah,
So,
they don't like this show. So if you are hearing it, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment. That helps engagement. Plus, I want to know what you're thinking. Engage with us. We love it. Cody, you and I will be back again tonight. But in the meantime, I hope you know that I forever believe in Onidi.